You saved up, you worked hard, you walked into that dealership with cash in hand, proud, confident, ready to own that car outright. And the finance guy looked at you and almost felt sorry for you. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Paying cash for a car might actually be one of the most expensive moves you can make. Not because cash is bad, but because of what you don't do with it after. The people winning with money aren't paying cash for depreciating assets, and once you see why, you can't unsee it. My name is Ricky, and I spend way too much time thinking about how regular people lose money on decisions that feel totally smart in the moment. If you're someone who works hard, tries to be responsible with money, but still feels like you're not getting ahead, subscribe. This channel is for you. Look, let me paint a picture. You've been saving for maybe 2, 3 years. Every month, a little bit goes into that account. You skip vacations, you cook at home, you say no to things your friends are doing because you've got a goal. And that goal finally happens. You hit maybe $20,000, and your brain says, okay, I'm buying this car. Clean. No payments, no interest, no debt. Just freedom. That feeling is real. I get it. Paying cash feels like the responsible move. It feels like something your grandparents would be proud of. But here's what nobody around you is actually talking about. Most of the people you admire financially, the ones quietly building wealth, they are not paying cash for cars. They're financing them, strategically, on purpose. And that sounds crazy, right? Because everything we've been taught says debt is the enemy, payments are a trap, cash is king. But that advice was written for a different era, before low-interest financing existed, before index funds were accessible to everyday people, before you could open a brokerage account on your phone in 4 minutes. The rules of money have shifted, but the advice most people are still following hasn't. And that's the real problem. It's not that saving that money was wrong. Saving is always smart. The mistake is what happens next when you hand all of it to a dealership in one shot and walk away thinking you won. Because that cash, it could have been doing something else for you entirely. That's what we're here to talk about. Okay, here's where I need you to shift something in your brain. Most people think of buying a car as a win or a loss. You either got a good deal or you got ripped off. And paying cash feels like the ultimate win because you avoided interest. But that's the wrong scorecard entirely. The real question isn't, did I avoid paying interest? The real question is, what is the true cost of using that cash right now in this moment? Economists call this opportunity cost. It sounds fancy, but the idea is simple. Every dollar you spend is a dollar that stops working for you. When you hand $20,000 to a dealership, that money is gone. Done. It's sitting in a depreciating piece of metal in your driveway that loses value every single day. Now compare that to this. What if you financed that car at 3 or 4% interest, realistic if you have decent credit, and kept that $20,000 invested instead? The S&P 500 has returned an average of roughly 10% annually over the last 30 years. That's not a guarantee. Markets go up, markets go down, but that's the historical average we can work with honestly. At 10% average annual return, $20,000 becomes around $32,000 in just 5 years. You paid maybe $2,000 total in loan interest over those 5 years. Your net gain, even after covering that interest, is around $10,000 ahead. You came out winning by financing. Now, you might be thinking, Ricky, what if the market drops? That's fair, and it's real. But here's what most people don't realize. The fear of investing keeps more people broke than the market ever has. Avoiding risk entirely is its own kind of risk because inflation is real, opportunity cost is real, and money sitting in a savings account is quietly losing purchasing power every single year. The game is not about avoiding all risk. It's about understanding which risks are actually working for you. Let's make this concrete and slow it way down. When you finance a car, you are renting the bank's money for a small fee. That fee is your interest rate. At 4% on $20,000 over 5 years, your monthly payment is roughly $368. Total interest paid over the entire loan, around $2,000. That's the cost of keeping your cash invested, $2,000 flat. Now, in year one alone, if your $20,000 earns 10%, that's $2,000 in growth. You already covered your entire interest cost in the first 12 months. Then it compounds. Year 2, you're earning on $22,000, then $24,000, then more. And here's the other side most people completely ignore. The car is working against you from day one, regardless of how you paid for it. A new car loses roughly 15 to 20% of its value in the first year alone. By year 5, it's worth around 60% of what you paid. So if you bought a $25,000 car with cash, by year 5, that car is worth maybe $10,000. You didn't just spend $25,000, you effectively lost $15,000 in value on top of that. That's just what cars do. They are not assets. They are expensive, necessary tools that depreciate. So when you pay cash for a depreciating tool, you combine two losing moves into one decision. You lose the car's value through depreciation, and you lose your cash's growth potential at the exact same time. Financing doesn't fix the depreciation. The car loses value either way. But financing does fix the cash problem. It keeps your money working while the car does what cars always do. Quick note before we move on. This works when two things are true. Your interest rate is low, ideally under 5%, and you actually invest the cash instead of letting it disappear into lifestyle spending. If you're financing at 8 or 9%, or that $20,000 is going to quietly evaporate into vacations and takeout, pay cash. This is a tool, not a trick. Use it with intention. Let me give you two people. Same income, same car, completely different outcomes 5 years later. Meet Marcus. He saves for 2.5 years and walks into a dealership with $20,000 cash. He buys a used Honda Accord. Clean deal, no payments. He feels great about it. And then that $20,000 is just gone into the car. Marcus doesn't invest much because after buying the car, life gets expensive again. He tells himself he'll start investing next year. Now, meet Darius. Darius has the same $20,000 sitting in savings, but Darius finances the car at 4% interest. His payment is $368 a month. He takes that $20,000 and puts it into a low-cost index fund, something boring like the S&P 500, and he leaves it alone. 5 years later, Marcus's Honda is worth around $9,000. He has $9,000 in a depreciating asset. 5 years later, Darius's Honda is also worth $9,000. Same car, same depreciation, but Darius also has $32,000 in his investment account. He paid about $2,000 in total interest on the loan, so his real net is around $30,000. Darius came out $21,000 ahead of Marcus. They bought the exact same car. The difference wasn't income, it wasn't luck, it wasn't some secret. It was one decision and understanding what money does when you let it work. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. That same $20,000 invested at 30 years old at 10% average annual growth becomes around $348,000 by the time you're 60. $348,000 from one car purchase decision. That same $20,000 handed to a dealership becomes zero. Nobody thinks about it that way when they're standing in the showroom feeling proud of their cash deal, but that number is sitting on the other side of that decision quietly, whether you're aware of it or not. Real talk for a second. The reason most people pay cash for cars has nothing to do with math, it's emotion. Paying cash feels safe. It feels like control. It feels like winning. I understand that feeling completely. But feelings are not financial strategies. The financial system does not punish borrowers. It punishes uninformed borrowers. There is a massive difference between those two things. An informed borrower uses low-cost debt as a tool. An uninformed borrower uses debt to buy things they cannot afford and ends up buried. You are trying to be the first one, and the first step is simply understanding how money actually moves instead of following advice from people who stopped learning about finance 30 years ago. This is not radical, this is just financial literacy that nobody taught you in school. All right, let's bring everything home. Paying cash for a car feels responsible. Emotionally, it makes complete sense. No payments, no debt, no stress. That feeling is valid, but financially, it can be one of the most expensive moves you make because of what that cash stops doing the moment you hand it over. Opportunity cost is the invisible price of every financial decision. Most people never account for it. And that gap between knowing something and actually applying it, that's where most people's wealth quietly disappears. When you finance a car at a low-cost interest rate and keep your cash invested, you're letting your money work in two places simultaneously. The car serves its purpose, the cash grows. The strategy only works if the money actually goes into an investment account and stays there. That part is non-negotiable. Financing the car and spending the cash on lifestyle is the worst possible outcome. You end up with a payment and no investments. Buying used is smart. Negotiating your rate is smart. Understanding your total loan cost before you sign is smart. These are always true regardless of how you pay. And most importantly, the goal is not to carry car payments forever. The goal is to use low-cost debt intentionally during periods when your money can earn more than the cost of borrowing. Here's what I want you to really hold on to, though. Once you start thinking this way, it doesn't just change how you buy a car, it changes how you make every financial decision. The habit of keeping your money working compounds just like the interest does. That mindset shift is worth more than any single tactic in this video. So here's your choice. You can walk into that dealership with cash and feel like you won. Or you can finance smart, invest the difference, and actually be $20,000 to $30,000 richer 5 years from now. The math does not care about your feelings, but your future self will absolutely care about that compound growth. One of these decisions feels better today. The other one is better, by a lot, over time. You now know the difference. Most people walking into dealerships right now don't. That's your edge. Use it. If this video changed how you think about even one financial decision, hit that thumbs up. It helps this channel reach more people who need exactly this. Subscribe if you want more of it. I'll see you in the next one.